Hey guys, it's Melissa. Happy Thursday. We are doing something a little different today. Don't often do these Facebook Lives on my computer, but today I want to show you, I want to take you inside Silhouette Studio and share my screen while we do that. So I'm going to disappear in a minute, but we are going to go over how to make and use and export and why you should use mockups. Okay, so mockups, if you're not familiar, are super useful for when you are need to see a visual, want to know how is my design going to end up, how is my project going to work out if I pick this color vinyl, or if I use this combination of patterns, or the sizing, or anything like that. Okay, so I'm going to show you all of that. They're also useful if you are selling, because you can make mock-up photos that you can give an example to a potential customer. You could put in your shop. There's lots and lots of different ways to use mock-ups. So I'm going to show you how to do them all in Silhouette Studio. Okay, it's super easy. So, all right. I'm going to disappear here and I'm going to show you Silhouette Studio. So what we are actually going to use today, so here is a mock-up. What we are going to do today, I need to show you over here, we are going to use a couple of designs from the Throwback pillow design bundle. Now, this is called the pillow bundle. These can be used on anything, just so you know. However, it's back today on Fontsy just for today, and it comes not only with a bunch of designs, but also with 3 different mock-ups. You see this one here is not a design, it's just a photo. So that you can see it says styled stock photo. There's a couple of them like that, and so I'm going to show you how to use those. So if you were just selling square, 15 by 15 or 18 by 18, 21 inch pillows that are white, and you put different designs on those, you can use these types of mock-ups and then add your design all in Silhouette Studio. So I'm going to show you all of that. Okay, all right, so here's one that I started. Now, how do you do this? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up a new work area, and it doesn't really matter what your page setup looks like, but we'll just switch it over to Cameo 4 for right now. Okay, so you have everything in on your computer, downloaded, everything's there. So this is the Fontsy bundle that I downloaded. It comes in a zip file, and then within that zip file are all the other files. Okay, so you do need to, if you try to pull a zip file into Silhouette Studio, you're going to get an error. So you need to unzip first. Okay, so I'm going to start. I can see here these are my mock-ups, so I'm going to unzip those. I can just double click and that will create another folder. I'm going to do all 3 of those so I have a couple of options. And then I'm going to see which one is this. This is just the white one. Let's pull that one in there. And I literally just dragged and dropped that into Silhouette Studio. Now you can see it came in really big. That's because this is a high resolution photo. So you can obviously resize that if you want. Whoops. Let's turn that off and just click O, and that turns off the center of rotation. So I'm going to pull the other ones in as well. So we have a couple of options for ourselves. This one, pull that one in as well. And we'll pull the last one. Oops, I need to open the file. And we'll pull that one in as well. So now I have all my mock-ups in the same Silhouette Studio work area. And I can start using these for mock-ups. So how do you do that? Well, what you're going to do is you're actually going to bring the designs into the same area. So let's say we are going to make a pillow for our front porch. Okay, so I know this is one that is a front porch design. Okay, if you get multiple zip files, don't worry, you just need to continue to unzip them. There's reasons for that. One is it's a bundle and there's multiple designers in that bundle. Another might be that you have multiple file types and they've been zipped that way, so that's why. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to use the SVG because I have access. I can import my SVG. So again, I'm just going to drag and drop that in. Now, I have my SVG in Silhouette Studio, and I'm trying to decide, okay, this happy place is like referring to a porch, probably not really going to match maybe this one. This is more wintry. However, it could really work well with this mock-up down here. which looks a little springy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my design. First thing I'm going to do is group this because it's all ungrouped. And I'm literally just going to pull my design on top of my pillow. Now let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. So a few things. First, do I want to do this all in black? Okay, depending on what you're making the mock-up for, you might want to do, various colors. You might want to decide, maybe I want welcome and place to be in a different color, but I'm not really sure. So in order to decide, you can simply select the design, and this one, for some reason, it's all ungrouped. Oh, it's just the W and the rest of the word. Okay, so I'm holding down. I'm going to group those together so it's a little bit easier, and then I'm going to group this as well. So now let's say we want to decide, let's see what it looks like if we do those in blue. Okay, so if you're doing them in a blue, I just changed those specific colors, and now I'm like, I don't think blue is really going to work for this. So if it doesn't work for you, what you can do then is now, you're not going to cut blue, but because now so instead of wasting your time and your material, you can decide, okay, I think maybe it would look better if I did it in all black. Okay, so you've decided on all black. Now you need to decide what size should I do it. So one thing that you can do is if you have a 15 by 15 inch pillow, how do you know what size to make your design? Well, one little trick is you can use the draw a square tool and literally draw out a square that's 15 by 15. So let's draw that. I can hold down shift and make it all be the same. Okay, so this is just about 15 by 15. Now what I can do is I'm gonna pull this over here, okay, and I'm going to resize the pillow image itself so that the pillow fits inside that 15 by 15. Now, is this exact? No, of course not. It's not. This pillow is not exact. However, it's very, very close. And now what I can see is that my design itself, try to group that all together. My design itself, I can decide, okay, if I want I need to grab the square. If I want my pillow design, the SVG, to fill the entire pillow, then I need to cut it at this size because I know that my pillow is very close to 15 inches. And so this is going to be in proportion because we've used this piece right here as a 15 by 15, and that's what we've resized our design to look like. Hopefully that makes sense to you, okay? Now, back to the color. We've decided on that we're doing all black. We've decided this is the size we want for our 15 by 15 inch pillow. Now we want to make this look like a little bit more of a realistic mock-up. One way to do that is to pull the transparency of the design itself down. So this is full transparency. For mock-ups to make them look most realistic, I would suggest you put your transparency anywhere between about 9 and 11%. It just will reduce you can see, it just reduces the transparency of the design a little bit. It doesn't seem like, let's put everything the same color and then do it. Okay. So I'm going to show you these side by side so you can see the difference. Okay. So that's full transparency, or this is 11% transparency. This one over here is full 100%. It doesn't look a whole lot different, but if you were to change the color of these, so for example, let's say we picked something more like on the red scheme, okay, like we're going to use maroon. All right, this just doesn't look so stark, and it looks more realistic in the photo. So that's an option you can take. It's one that I typically suggest that you do, just because it makes your photos and makes your mock-ups look a little bit more realistic. And if you were doing this, let's say you were doing this on a mock-up that was something closer to this, where there's some texture in the in the pillow itself. So let's pull this over here. Reducing the transparency will also pull some of the texture through your design. So if you look very, very closely, you can see, and doesn't that look much more realistic, similar to what HTV looks like? Now, if I pull this up to 100% transparency, you'll see the difference. See, you can't see that. So you can reduce it just a little bit to make it look a little bit more realistic. So what do you do now? What you do now with these mock-ups is depends on why you're making them. If you are making them for your own self, so you can decide if you want to put white HTV, or if you want to put black, or if you want to put purple, then you're done. You've decided. If you are giving, if you have a customer who is asking what are your options, and you say, okay, I could do white, black, or red, and she says, I can't decide, you can now send this to her and say, okay, here are your options. All right, so you can make multiple copies of this. Literally just change the color. Here's black for you. Here's if we did maroon. And whoops. Now you have 3 photos. Now what you're not going to do, at least what I would suggest you not do, is a screen grab. Okay, we don't want to do that. We want to be a little more professional if we are going to send this to a customer who is paying. So what we can do is we can select the image itself along with the cut file, and then as long as you have business edition, you can do this. And if you're selling, I would highly suggest, it's totally worth the one-time $65 fee to be able to do this. You can go to save selection and then do save to hard drive. And now I can change this to like a JPEG, and I can say pillow white, okay? Increase your DPI, dots per inch, to 300 if you can, okay? Now I'm gonna do the same thing on this one. I'm gonna do file, save selection. And the reason I'm doing save selection is I only want the part that I have selected, which in this case is the mock-up and the design itself, the black design, save selection, save to hard drive. This is going to be pillow black. And again, we're going to change this to a file format that my customer can see. Okay? And what this does is now these designs are outside of Silhouette Studio. I have them wherever you save. So now I have, see? So now I can send this image itself to my customer. Or I can use this in my shop as a product photo image to say, I offer these designs, and these are the options that you have. Or if you're a cut file designer, you could use the mock-ups for that way. So that is the way that you are going to be able to use mock-ups, and you can use the same mock-ups for all of your different designs. So in this case, I pulled in another design, but again, it's a really easy way for you to tell your customers what you offer, for you to decide on coloring and design elements, and for you to figure out your sizing and placement, okay? Again, depending on what you are and how you are going to use your mock-ups, that is how 3 different main ways that you can and should be using mock-ups in Silhouette Studio. So again, everything I showed you today and a whole lot more is all part of the throwback bundle here. It's 107 designs. It includes those 3 mock-ups that we talked about along with the 2 designs. If you are somewhere where it is not Southern California and you are getting some bad winter weather, maybe you might want to do this one here, Wake Me Up When Winter's Over. There's a lot of really cool options in this bundle. So if you want to grab it, do that. It's only available. Hopefully it will be something that you're not only interested in, but also useful for you, because you'll know how to use it all. Okay? All right, you guys, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. I got to figure out how to stop this thing.